Hello. It's coffee time. And, I guess the main story is the emergency budget, the mini budget. Oops, my microphones are pointing in the wrong direction. How did that happen? Mini budget. Crazy quasi Kwarteng. Did a budget. Look, I said this yesterday. All of you out there who didn't like Boris, you wanted rid of him. Now you got some good old fashioned Tories with a capital T, some real, Norman Tebbit, get on your bike kind of Tories, because this is evidence with this mini budget. Top tax rate has been cut. That means the rich people pay less tax. But wait a minute, I thought the government coffers needed money. No, because they're doing this thing, you trickle down economics. That works, doesn't it? Has trickle down economics ever been proven to work? Was it? All they've done is made themselves richer. That's all they've done. They've cut the basic cut the basic rate of income tax to 19p. There was going to be a rise in alcohol duty. That's been scrapped. Stamp duty has been cut. Stamp duty for us over here is when you sell your house, you have to pay tax, because you have to tax on everything. I'm surprised they just didn't get rid of inheritance tax and be done with it as well. And they've put a cap on bankers' bonuses. I think that's the only one I can agree with, because the bankers' bonus cap was introduced by the EU. It's an EU thing. And again, the bankers are more likely to go out and spend their money rather than the mega rich. So that's the only thing here I kind of agree with. But yeah, what you've seen here is classic conservative policy being resurrected, like the mummy, like Frankenstein's monster. It's alive. We've gone back in time, maybe 60 years. It's incredible. Again, this is supposed to kickstart the economy. I'm not sure how. And again, the response to this, if you look at the markets, let me just pull up the graphic. This is the sterling rate of sterling, pound sterling against the dollar. As you can see, it just fell off a cliff this morning. It just fell off. Look, whoop, to its all-time low for 37 years. Can you believe that? 37 years, it's dropped to $1.11. Sometimes I remember when it used to be $1.50, $1.60. Do you remember those good old days? So again, I don't think the markets have any faith in this mini budget, but I guess the stamp duty is again good if you're moving, or again it might even affect us if I'm trying to extend the lease here, because I think you have to pay stamp duty on that. So but I thought they needed money. We'll have to wait and see. But I'm not impressed. That's what you get for getting rid of Boris. He was a small T Tory. Now you got the big T's in. But maybe this will enable Labour to win an election. Sorry, they don't know what a woman is. So that ain't gonna happen. So let's tell the story of oh God, what a name, Benjamin Nwagwu. He's from, where is he from? Does it say whereabouts he is? Doesn't say where he was travelling to Manchester Airport, but here he is, and he's looking pleased with himself. I want to see where he was travelling from, but why are we concentrating on him? Well, this fella, he was pretending to be a Liverpool fan, flying home from the Champions League final when police noticed him. He was it's like, oh yeah, what's going on here? He was not in a good way. And when they checked his itinerary, they'd realised he'd flown from South America to Paris and then home to the UK. Mr. Nwagwu, who's 43, was actually working for the Colombians, yes, a Colombian drug cartel, and he'd swallowed a whopping 79 packages full of cocaine. It was a kilo's worth £80,000, and he's from Manchester, but he was pretending to be a Liverpool fan. That was never going to work out, was it? It was never going to work out. But yeah, he reckons he was pressured to become a drugs mule by gangsters. So yeah, 100 packages of cocaine. But he couldn't ingest them all. He only managed 79. Can you imagine that? Come on, one more. 79. 80. Come on, you can do it, Benjamin. You can do it. But no. So yeah, he's... well, apparently it's emerged, right, that the Colombians have been exploiting an EU freedom of movement loophole to smuggle drugs into Europe via French Guiana, which is used by cartel bosses as a gateway to Europe because it's an overseas department of France. Good old freedom of movement. So this is why the middle classes would like the EU, because it means they can get cheap drugs, isn't it? But he was found guilty because he pled guilty to importation of cocaine at Minshall Street Crown Court in Manchester, and he was jailed for 4 years and 2 months. There you go. And the arrest happened on June the 1st of this year. So there we go. I mean, 4 years doesn't seem. I remember do you remember in the old days? The old days they'd be sent away forever. But yeah, he was. Excuse me. They reckon the cocaine he'd swallowed had a purity of 89%. That's not bad, is it? That's not bad. Oh boy. But no, folks, don't become a drugs mule. Don't do it. It's not a good thing. Shall we go to Britain's roughest estate, which has been compared to war-torn Ukraine? I don't think it's as bad as war-torn Ukraine. Let's have a look at it. That doesn't look as bad as war-torn Ukraine, does it? I think even war-torn Ukraine looks better than that. Where is it? Darren? This is in Blakenhall, in Walsall, West Midlands. Yeah, apparently the locals live in constant fear of arson and knife attacks. Welcome to Eath. Yeah, I don't think we'll move there. But yeah, tormented residents and business owners are now demanding action following a string of incidents including arson attack, fly-tipping thefts, assaults and vandalism. It's one of the country's most socially deprived areas in the West Midlands, with a higher population density than the rest of Walsall. But, and here's a picture of a smashed phone box. I mean, there's a relic, innit? You have to explain to kids what a phone box is. Yeah, in the old days, if you wanted to make a phone call and you didn't have a telephone, well, sometimes houses didn't have a phone. So you'd have to go out with some money and put it in the phone box and dial the number. Mind you, I reckon if this went on the market, it'd be a nice little fixer-upper. What do you think? There's one for Grand Designs. You can put this one in the Tate Modern, couldn't you? I call this the futility of modern life. I mean, that's the same picture. They've just taken it from different angles. Whoever did this is just, because I recognise that tyre there. Oh, come on, Daily Mail, you can do better than that. So if you live in Blakenhall, let me know in the comments below. Is it really as bad as that? Is it worse than Ukraine? There's not a lot of stories. Mind you, scientists have come up with a new way to beat cancer. Yeah, this is news from the Institute of Cancer Research in London. What have they done? Well, they were testing 39 patients with end-of-life cancers and found a core of them. This treatment changed their cancer. But what is it, Darren? Tell us about it. Well, what they've done is they've genetically modified herpes. Hooray! And they reckon herpes can, shrink tumours in ill patients. With a genetically weakened form of herpes simplex virus, they inject it into cancer cells, and it has an amazing effect. They've tested it on people suffering from skin, esophageal, head and neck tumours. One patient from West London hailed the drug as a true miracle after he was able to return to work as a builder. Overall, 3 out of 9 patients treated with what they call it RP2 saw their tumours shrink, while 7 out of 30 patients who received the drug and immunotherapy also got better. But they need to do larger studies. But again, it's another step forward to curing it. One patient, Krzysztof Walkowski, who's 39, he was diagnosed with mucocephaloid carcinoma, which is a salivary gland cancer. He was diagnosed with that in 2017. They said there was no options left. They tried to remove it by surgery, and he said, I had injections of RP2 2 weeks for 5 weeks, which completely eradicated. Sorry, every 2 weeks for 5 weeks, and it completely eradicated my cancer. I've been cancer free now for 2 years. It is a true miracle. There is no other word to describe it. I've been able to return to work as a builder and spend my time with my family. There's nothing I cannot do. But yeah, it's really really positive, and the research team are hoping to move on to bigger trials after presenting their study to the European Society for Medical Oncology Congress. So wow, who'd have thought it? There is a good herpes. And lads, if you catch herpes, you can say, well, it's just side effect, cancer treatment. No, I don't know. I don't know if that's it's probably not a good idea, that one. Probably not a good one, that one. No, probably not. Oh God, there's a slew of royal news. They're still doing the royals. Loads and loads of royals. This is a horrible one. This is on American Airlines. Sorry, it's my browser is just gone a bit wobbly. I'll be with you in a minute. I've got to find the story again. Talk amongst yourselves. Yeah, this is on American Airlines flight 377 from San Jose del Cabo to LAX. That's Los Angeles to you and me. This is on Wednesday, and again, I'm just going for the queue up. This is a flight attendant is talking to a passenger. Right, so here he is. He's talking to the passenger, and as he turns, the passenger sucker punches him from behind. Wow, right? And this is all because the passenger was refused a cup of coffee. Can you believe it? 33-year-old Alexander Tung Ku Lee has been, well, obviously arrested. He was detained on suspicion of interfering with flight crew, and it's known as a federal felony. Again, it's all very different in the US, and he could face up to 20 years in prison. I mean, it's just shocking, isn't it, that someone could think that that's an acceptable way to behave. And here's a picture of him being detained in the chair, being tied up. I mean, that's just totally wrong, you know. But yeah, the American Airlines spokesperson Derek Wallace said in a statement that the individual involved in the incident will never be allowed to travel with us in the future. So he's got a lifetime ban. That's the least of his problems, I imagine. But yeah, there's a real increase in unruly passengers. There's been a 38% increase in US air travels, with assaults and disruptions on American Airlines. God, just behave yourselves. I mean, when I was a lad, when you got on a plane, we all dressed in suits. We were our Sunday best, and we all behaved ourselves, and we was like all very, 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 very posh, and we drank our tea with our pinky raised. You know, that's what it was like. You know, going on a plane was a privilege, not something to take for granted and act like uncultured oafs like everybody is these days, or in this case a thug. You know, you've got to love the Church of England. Church of England's very inclusive, isn't it? Isn't the Church of England inclusive? Anyway, this is about the daughter of the late Desmond Tutu. Here she is. Right, this is Ms. Tutu Van Firth, and she, again, like I said, she's the daughter of Desmond Tutu, a truly great man. And she was going to she wanted to officiate at her godfather's funeral. Right? Yeah. She'd been asked to officiate the funeral on Thursday in Shropshire, and she's actually a practicing Anglican priest in the Diocese of Washington DC. And she was like, "Yeah, sure, I'd love to do that." And well, she could. They banned her. And her godfather is Martin Kenyon, and he was one of the first people to receive the COVID-19 virus. Or maybe he died because of the vaccine. Sorry, vaccine, not virus. What was I saying? Brains. Begins with a V. Mrs. don't mind. She likes my sloppy presentation. But yeah, he was one of the first. Maybe that's what killed him. No, it's because he was 91. You vaccine deniers. Remember, COVID's more likely to kill you without being vaccinated. Remember that. That's what all these. That's why all these. The higher level of deaths is all about. It's because you haven't been vaccinated. I'm still here. Triple jabbed. Fill me up. Here's my arm. Hit me with that science. Squeeze your science into me. That's what I say. But anyway, she was banned from officiating. And why? Why? Do you want to know what? I'm really eking this one out, because Miss Tutu Van Firth is married to a woman. Oh my God, those lesbians get everywhere. Again, this is a shameful thing. From it was the Diocese of Hereford made the decision. In a statement that said advice was given in line with the House of the Bishops with their current guidance on same-sex marriage, and they said that the ban was a difficult decision. Well, I just think it's I think it's wrong. I think it's wrong, isn't it? Really? Is this what Jesus would have wanted? No. Is this what God wants? Nope. Because there isn't any God, and Jesus was probably just a hippie, right? But no, I mean, it's just again, it's women being told what to do again by men. Remember that. Smash the patriarchy. Just there are no good stories today. Hey, we've got a bent copper story. This is the copy of... This is the story, even. My brain's all over the place. This is the story of PC Kelly Norris. We don't have a picture of him, but he actually handed himself in, right? Yeah, he actually handed himself in. That's a good thing. He reported himself to his supervisor when he was going through some records. During the course of his work, he was looking at some records. He recognised a woman who was involved with a crime, right? And he thought, oops, because yes, this police officer was paying for sex with prostitutes, and one of these prostitutes was linked with organised crime, and so he had to hand himself in. And the Chief Constable of Avon and Somerset Police, Sarah Crew, dismissed him without notice following the misconduct hearing. She said his behaviour breached standards of professional behaviour and amounted to gross misconduct. They don't mess around, not like the Met Police. Again, this is the difference between Avon and Somerset and the Met Police at the moment. She is not messing about. And PC Norris will be barred from joining any police service again, except the Met Police. Has he tried the Met Police? Again, this is bringing the whole service into disrepute. He's a naughty boy. He's a naughty boy. But as I've said, we know what the P in PC stands for. It stands for pervert, doesn't it? Pervert. But he's compromised him, because that lady could have ended up blackmailing him or using him, to get information. So this is why, police, you don't get involved in those crimes. It's just simple. It's simple. Good news, everybody. We've got Migrant Watch. Yeah. How many migrants turned up in dinghies yesterday? Go and have a guess. There were 21 boats containing 1,100 migrants. Hey! This is the third highest daily figure this year. The Ministry of Defence has confirmed that 21 boats were intercepted on Thursday. That's not bad going, is it? That brings the total up to 31,655. I think, is this the RNLI bringing them in? But don't worry, it's good. Look, they're all wearing their masks. They're safe. Not a woman or child amongst them. Oh, wait a minute, we do have a woman. Here we go. Because you can tell she's a woman because she's got a handbag. Come on, actually, could be a man bag, couldn't it? But isn't it about time we did something about this? I mean, setting something up so these people can get here safely, because it's only, again, the Channel is one of the biggest shipping lanes in the world, and I'm surprised there aren't many people, dead through this. We need to make it safe. And then we store them in big shipping containers out at sea while we process them, right? I don't know what to do with the problem. It's just these are people, We need to get the people smugglers, don't we? That's what we need to do. And again, this goes back to the French who are letting this go ahead. We need to ring of steel. That's what we need to do. Who wants some Joe Biden news? This was at the Global Fund Conference on Wednesday evening, where he goes full John Travolta in Pulp Fiction. He doesn't know where he is, the poor lamb. Look at him. Where am I? And he actually asked the crowd out, how do I get out of here? He's just not all here. He seemed confused and lost. Good news, everybody. Do you remember the Wagatha Christie case? Do you remember that? Where Colleen Rooney was sued by Rebecca Vardy. Don't worry, they're wags. That's they're footballers' wives. Do you remember that? Well, anyway, Rebecca Vardy is signed up for a tell-all documentary with Discovery. They reckon it's going to pay off her 1.5 million legal bills. But don't worry, Colleen Rooney's also inked a deal with Disney Plus for her side of the story. So we're going to have two competing. I don't care. That's Vardy, for those who don't know, and that's Rooney. Remember, her old man likes old prostitutes, like he's old enough to be his granny. You just got to say that every time, haven't you? About Wayne Rooney, who's every time you have to. You just have to. You have to. It's like the law. Now this is interesting. This is the government's anti-terror programme called Prevent, right? And again, they work with schools and all manner of organisations to help people be, not help them be radicalised, but stop them from being radicalised. It'd be good if they were helping them be radicalised. But this is a new chart that they've given out, and it's called the conspiracy chart, right? And as you go up the chart, right, look, you've got loads of you've got the detached from reality at the top, which is QAnon, Flat Earth, Pizzagate, Hollow Earth, faked moon landings. We all know Kubrick done it. It's Kubrick what done it for George Soros and the Illuminati. We all know that. You got the anti-Semitic point of no return. 5G is up there. Chemtrails, crop circles. Crop circles isn't. What? Crop circles, they're real because the man did them. Don't you remember? There was a farmer did it as a joke. Bigfoot. They're saying Bigfoot is. Elvis lives. Of course, we know Elvis is alive. I can't read some of these because these are a bit fuzzy. Hashtag Free Britney. This is we're getting over the speculation line. UFOs. Oh, Princess Diana and Epstein not killing himself. They're on the edge. They're on there. Almost. You can almost believe those, can't you? And then you got the speculation line, which is I can't even. Is MK Ultra on there? MK Ultra was real. Well, I don't know what to think. I don't know what to believe in. Am I radicalised? Have I been radicalised by reading that? I don't know what to think. So, what's your favourite conspiracy theory? Is the moon made of green cheese? Is it true that dogs can't look upwards? How about cows? Can cows walk backwards? These are some of the conspiracy theories we need to answer. Meanwhile, it's come out it's true. There's been a lot of speculation about this, but Johnny Depp is, you know Johnny Depp, don't you? He'd been in court a lot, and there was a lot of speculation when he was in court in America the last time against Amber Turd. Remember what she didn't? Do you remember what she did in the bed and then blamed it on the dog? But anyway, the speculation has finally come true. He is in a romance with his British lawyer. There you go. But who can resist? Look at that. She likes a bit of a high skirt there. Look at that, way above the knee there. But that's why he's so happy. That's why he's smiling. It's like, yeah, he's getting special privileges, indeed. So yeah, apparently they are romancing. we give you the top stories here, you know. Top stories. Top stories. I'm hoping there's an animal story to end on. Otherwise, we're doomed. Doomed, I tell you. Oh, good news, everybody. My browser's all over the place today. I don't know why it's doing it. It's these pop-ups. But we're going over to the Ukraine. You'll be happy to know that voting has begun in Ukraine at the various referenda. Look, there you go. You can cast your vote in the occupied areas of Ukraine. And they're voting for the Russians to stay. Remember that? They've got two boxes. Do you want the Russians to stay, or do you want the Russians to remain? Those are the two choices that they've got. Comrade, you make right decision, comrade. We wouldn't want you to fall downstairs on way out. But yeah, again, it's quite bizarre. But then, oh dear, let's have a look at them. Here they are. They're all queuing up. I mean, that woman's face is a picture. She's like, yeah, right. Oh yeah. She doesn't look happy, does she? But I would be very interested to see what the results are. But world leaders have rejected the. And they've actually got a picture of the ballot paper. It's asked them whether they agree or disagree. And there's probably some. Always read the small print. There's probably some small print in there, you know, which says, you know, if you leave a mark, you're technically agreeing with the invasion. How bonkers is it? You know it's going to come back with them agreeing, don't we? We all know that's going to happen. But yeah, that's going ahead at the moment. So keep your eye out for the results. It's just bonkers. Just trying to find. Oh, we've got. Where have we got? There's Saudi. Apparently, Saudis are aiming to broker a peace deal between Russia and Ukraine because the Crown Prince helped to secure the release of British hostages. Yeah, there was a number of British hostages who were released yesterday. John Harding was one of them, the 59-year-old from Sunderland. Let's bring him up. Here he is. But yeah, the Saudi prince worked to get the British captives back to the UK, so that was good news. So maybe the Saudis can help. I mean, they've got a lot of money. They might be able to wave their checkbook at Putin, because Putin likes money. Likes money a lot, doesn't he? Meanwhile, Zelensky's actually called on Russians to fight back, run away, or surrender, which is what I said. So I think Zelensky actually watches Coffee Time. You know, I'm just dreaming there. Well, this is a story. This is the story of Jason Heathcote. Here he is. I mean, this is again. There's a lot to unpack here. But at Warrington Magistrates Court, he was ordered to pay his wife £500 compensation after pleading guilty to assault and occasioning actual bodily harm. Right. Yeah. Because he beat her up. But I'm going to give you the background. He followed his wife, right, into the home of John Richardson, who lives in Macclesfield, right. And this is around midnight, so he obviously, you know, crept in, and he went upstairs, and found them in the bedroom, under the covers, and she had one of the straps of her dungarees down. Meanwhile, Mr. Richardson, right? Mr. Richardson was naked under the sheets. So he's naked. She's got one strap of her dungaree down, and the furious husband loses it and starts beating his wife up. But Mr. Richardson said, "It's not what you think. It's not what you think." Let's look at John Richardson. He's looking quite pleased with himself. So I mean, again, this is what they call a crime of passion, isn't it? I guess you'd call this a crime of passion. Yeah. But now their relationship is kind of over. He's been told not to return to the family home, but again, it's again, you got to feel some sympathy for him. It's said that they had a complicated relationship. I imagine it was probably volatile, and of course, it's not the right thing to do. But yeah, Mrs. Heathcote said she was very severely affected. She'd suffered a fractured cheekbone, and she suffered anxiety and depression over the incident. But yeah, Heathcote was sentenced for 52 weeks imprisonment, suspended for 18 months, in ordered to complete a better building relationship rehabilitation program and undertake 200 hours of unpaid work. He was further ordered to pay £154 victim surcharge. I don't know. I'm kind of split on this one because, you know, the neighbour was naked and she had been laying in bed with him for like 15 minutes under the covers. You know, I mean, maybe they were just having a chat. I don't know. What do you think, Mrs.? What do you think? What do you think? Crime of passion, or do you think he was unreasonable? What do you think? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Right? Okay then. Oh, this is good news for me. University of Florida researchers have said that they've found compounds. Seven of these compounds are completely new. After running tests on grapefruits, mandarins, and sweet oranges, they found natural sugar. They're like natural sugars, but it's funny. 8 new sweeteners they've found. They've only taken all this time to find them. But yeah, they reckon these natural sugars found in fruits like oranges and lemons can be a healthy replacement in sweets without boosting diabetic risk. So that's good. So they're looking at a way of like kind of I guess replicating these. But leading scientist is called Dr. Wang. Our first computer was a Wang, wasn't it? Do you remember? We brought it all the way home from from just off Tottenham Court Road, wasn't it? Yeah, do you remember that? Morgan Computers, Wang. I'm just talking to the missus now. Oh God, I've done nearly 40 minutes. I got totally carried away. I better stop. Sorry guys. It is Friday though, isn't it? It is Friday. But that's good news. Is there an animal story? Please let there be an animal story. No, I don't think there is. There isn't one animal story. No animal stories. I'm going to do a search for animal stories. I don't normally do this. I'm going to put in animal and see if it gives me anything back. Ah, yes, I got an animal story. See, it wasn't on the front page. This is a TikTok sensation. Merlin the Happy Pig. That's a Blackadder reference, isn't it? But he's a TikTok sensation. His owner, Mina Alali, who's 25, from San Jose in California, reckons he's really smart, and she's done all sorts of videos with him. Here he is, and he goes to the green one, and he goes to the red one, Oh, something for the dads there. And she gets him to jump. Oh, but yeah, she's got Merlin the Happy Pig to do all sorts of tricks, and he does them with the little light up things there. Look at that, he pushes buttons that speak so you can tell her what he wants. Oh, and he takes the rat for a little walk as well. Miracle the rat. Oh. Oh. Oh, and here he is smiling. Oh. I'm having a sausage sandwich for lunch whilst I'm doing this. I'm watching this. I'm eating a sausage sandwich. I'm sorry, Merlin. I'm sorry. But I'm sure that pig wasn't as smart as you. And here he is with his bulldog chum. Oh. But at least we found an animal story to end with. I don't know if there's anybody in the... is anybody in there? Let's have a look. There's no one in there today. Wow, it's amazing when there's no one around. Even though I've been on for like 40 minutes and there's no one around. No one's watching. Nancy's in and says, hi, just got back from my old high school mate's funeral. Life is so short, love you all. Well, what can you say? Right. It's funny because the way you format that reminds me of someone else. Whoops, I've just left the screen on. But yeah, we only had 3 watches. Terrible, isn't it? That was Naz from 1967. Well, you're old anyway. Anyway, that was rubbish, wasn't it? That was the news. Done enough damage for today. Let's get out of here. That was news, so you better drink it up. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Should we do that? Do you think that helps? Do you think that actually helps if I tell you to do that? Do you think that actually works? Because I always feel really weird about doing that. But, do you think it works? Let me know if it works. Ta-ta.